We are back once again. Welcome to the dojo. I am your host, Professor Hawk Sensei. Today, the topic of discussion, it's a mouthful, but bear with me. The more you know, or should I say, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know anything. That's the whole of it. The more you learn, the more you realize you don't know anything. Hawk Sensei, what you talking about? They said knowledge is power. The more I learn, you know what I mean? The more smarter and powerful I am. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Because here's the thing about knowledge, right? It branches. It branches, right? Think of knowledge as a tree that grows infinitely. So, first it sprouts up from the ground, and then two leaves come out. The knowledge can go this way or that way. The knowledge can continue on that way and continue on this way. And at the end of both of those paths, right, there'll be a million other branching paths of knowledge. Because knowledge, at least to people, is almost infinite, we can't possibly know all there is to know. That's why I say the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know anything. Because the more you learn, right, the more you're able to see and perceive how much you don't understand, how much is left. Well, not really. You know that you can't possibly know all there is to know. You know that. That you do know. But what you don't know is what you don't know. And how do you know what you don't know? Until you know it. Strange. Bizarre. Uncalculable. That's where knowledge leaves us. We don't know what we don't know. And there's no way to prove the things we don't know. We just are unaware, unoblivious. Our mind doesn't even try to wrap itself around something that it cannot perceive or even realize its existence. Out of sight, out of mind. But there are things that we feel that we know, such as the spiritual realm, ghosts, demons, all that other stuff, right? We have a feeling that they exist, but we don't completely know. That's where belief comes in. Do you want to believe in this or do you not? And that is where choice comes in. So all the knowledge that we have access to, it's ultimately up to us if we want to believe in it or not. Until we're confronted with the reality that this is what it is. Unfalsifiable. It'll always be this way. It'll never change. When you come across a situation or a stimuli such as that never changes, it always remains the same. Water always boils at this temperature. Water always freezes at this temperature. Then we can finally say that we know it. It takes a lot of time for us as people to know things because we have to leave no stone unturned. We have to go all the way around the world just to get back to our starting point, the initial thought that we had, the initial belief, the initial discovery, whatever it is. That's what they do in science. They do experiments. They have a control, you know what I mean, in their tests. They have variables. what I'm really trying to say is, don't worry about the things that you don't know. I feel as we live our lives, and as time goes on, the universe will reveal to us what it wants us to know for whatever times we may be in. Right? But most of the things in the Bible, we don't know if they're true. So what do? We believe or we choose not to believe. I feel like belief is higher than knowledge. But that's another discussion, unfortunately. The things that we know, we take them for granted. It's almost as if we're forced to take them for granted. The laws of nature, karma, these things are guarantees. Death is a guarantee for all life. No life is infinite. No life lasts forever. All lives come to an end. So there can be a new cycle, a new start, a new beginning. That's all the end is. The end is just a new beginning. The end of something marks the beginning of something else. And all your knowing and learning and understanding, know this. You will only know what you need to know. Even if you think you didn't need to know. All the experiences that we go through in life, they have value. You may not know it when you're going through it, but at some point in life, you may have a flashback, or you'll remember you going through this particular situation, or overcoming a particular obstacle or trauma or whatever. And you'll look back like, man, I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have that experience prior. I don't know what would have happened to me if I wasn't ready for this. Right? When you know something, you're prepared to deal with it. At least you should be. At least mentally. You know what I mean? You know what's coming. You know what to expect. The uncertainty, the unknown, right? We know it exists, but we may not understand how it works. That can be kind of scary. There have been phrases, you fear what you don't understand. What you don't understand, you can't control. What you don't understand, you can't manipulate. You can't do anything with something you don't understand. It has the advantage over you. And as human beings, we've realized the value of knowing things. The more we know, the better we are. At least on paper. You know what I mean? Because there's some things, as human beings, we probably shouldn't know. We don't need to make a discussion about that. At least not today. Right? But this is, as a human being, learning and knowing it's really the substance of life. You know what I mean? Learning and then knowing. And that completion of process, I think, is equated to wisdom. When you have learned and now you know, you can apply that wisdom as far as teaching or preventing yourself from finding yourself in that same situation again. Knowledge is power. Of course it is. We said that in the beginning, and now we're touching on it. Knowledge is power. Right? But what they didn't tell you is power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. You may not even understand that. But if you get your hands on some power, then you will know. Some people don't need power. You ever worked a job? You like, yo, why is this person the manager? Why is this person? You know what I mean? Like, it seems as though they may be incompetent for the position that they're holding. There can be reasons for that. Someone who's incompetent can be told to do whatever. They don't have any leverage in their position when it comes to their superiors. I'm sure someone who's a superior wants to be able to keep everyone that's below them under their thumb. When you have a superior who is not as competent as somebody underneath them, it can cause problems. You know what I mean? Many different problems. Causing the company money, letting go of people who are actually valuable because of egos and whatever. But this isn't a discussion about work. This is a discussion about knowing. And as you know more and learn more, you realize ultimately you know nothing. You know nothing. Because like I said in the beginning, that knowledge is a tree that branches out infinitely. You can't take every single branch, which would be the equivalent of taking every single path in life. There's certain knowledge that can only be obtained on the path. And as you walk this path, you'll see the other paths branching off. And you will see how much knowledge you won't be able to get on your own. Experience, learning, and finally knowing is the formula for wisdom. Now you know. Learning, experiencing, and then knowing is the formula for wisdom. And when you acquire wisdom, you realize that you are not wise. You only know the things that you needed to know on your path. You've only learned the things that were meant for you to learn. So what does that mean? That means that people who have wisdom or insight or intellect, they took a more difficult path, so to speak. Maybe not physically, but mentally. They challenged their mind to know and understand more. That's how that works. So, I know as kids, we say outlandish statements like, I wish I knew everything in the world. I wish I had all the money in the world. And when you get to a place in life where you understand what that would actually mean, you probably don't want any of that. I'll just say it. We are finite creatures. There is a limit to how much we can take. Stress, right? There's a limit to how much physical stress we can take. There's a limit to how much mental stress we can take. There's a limit to how much spiritual stress we can take. All of us can contain all the world's knowledge and secrets. So again, before I go, I want to remind you, the more you learn, the more you realize you actually know nothing. That being said, Professor Hawk signing out. Hawk Sensei bids you adieu. Hope you're waking up every day with a plan and a purpose and a smile. And if you're not waking up with that, hey, at least you're waking up. at least you're waking up. Let's expand. Let's grow. Let's go. Till next time, y'all. Class dismissed.